Ravens do say, "Hey, Lamar, go find a team," people, it'll be funny how quick people turn on the quarterbacks they have right now, and the Seahawks turn on Geno right away. The Texans, they'll go on there.
The Seahawks would be sick.
I might act rude. I lost gang members, I can't act cool. I got gang scriptures in my tattoos. I was running from the police in my trap shoes. Posted trying to flip 100, I come back fool. Come from nothing, but I blossomed to a tycoon. Betrayal scars, can't stop thinking about them stab wounds. We might not catch him today, but he gon' die soon.
All right, welcome into the Third and Wrong YouTube channel. I am not alone today. I got Gage here. He's going to join me for a video finally because he's done with school or something like that. But we're going to get into this video rather differently. We're just going to go straight into it. So if you can give us a like, comment, and subscribe right now while we got your attention about it, that would help us out a bunch. But for this video, we're going to be talking about a few quarterback carousel changes that are going to happen, and we're going to focus on a few veteran quarterbacks that are hot in the news right now. So, Gage, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm coming off of a nice, winter cold.
Aren't we all? Yeah.
Yeah. So, feeling a little hazy, but waking back up into it.
I after doing a lot of videos by myself, I'm just glad to have someone here with me to actually make it feel like I'm not losing my mind. So I appreciate you being back. Hopefully other people do too.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's been a fun few months.
Oh yeah,
it's been a busy time. So.
Yeah. So with this video, we're not gonna I don't think we're gonna make claims as this is what's going to happen, but we're gonna talk about what's most likely gonna happen and just be real with y'all. So, first one up. Sorry, go on.
I mean, I'm pretty much like 100% on everything. So if you guys want to throw money down,
let's go.
And if it's right, you can thank me. And if it's wrong, and be like, why'd you even follow that guy? His channel says third and wrong. So
yeah,
it's not my fault.
Wrong. Down over. There classifies as a disclaimer on everything that we say. So the first quarterback that we got here is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, I think we've kind of been on this saga for 3 years at this point, at least 3 different seasons worth of just drama about Aaron Jones and won't he finally leave the Packers. So I don't know. Are you thinking that he is retiring, he's staying, or he's absolutely gone?
I don't think he would. I don't think he's going to retire this year. I feel like if he was going to retire, that's something he'll know throughout this season because he's kind of open and honest about that stuff. So I feel like if he was ready to retire, he would have said it by now. And he's kind of gone out and talked about how they have plans without him and they're moving on, or. He hasn't really said anything that doesn't make him seem like he doesn't want to play football.
I haven't caught up with everything that he has said, but I would agree with you there.
I'm not 100% caught up, but that's from what I've read. I mean, that's what it seems like. I haven't seen anything with him saying something that he might want to retire. And let's be real, if he says something even remotely like that, that's going to be blown up everywhere. So,
yeah. I think with Aaron Rodgers, he says that he's not going to go to a rebuild, right? But what team that doesn't have a quarterback isn't in a rebuild, right? I think the Jets, everyone says, is that team that's going to go either get him or some of the quarterbacks that we're going to talk about later. But I just don't know. I think there's a few teams that I think Aaron Rodgers ends up on. I think most likely he ends up on the Packers.
Okay, same.
But that's a 40%, shot there. And then the other 3, so 20% each, I would say on each of them. I would say the New York Jets are definitely a team there. One, they have weapons and a team. They're just going to focus on offensive line, I think, in the draft and in free agency to really solidify the biggest issue they had last year. And then after that, I think the Raiders are also extremely likely because they're moving on from a quarterback that we're going to talk about later. And they have Devontae Adams there already. They got good business down in Las Vegas as far as sales tax and stuff like that. And puts them in the same division as Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and Russell Wilson. So just the, four, at least in the past, have been really good quarterbacks. Russell Wilson still kind of battling last season. So we'll see how that works out.
Also, I know this is not the point of this video, but I just want to go out there and point. You guys are lucky that I was very caught up with school and moving, because everything we told you guys in our off season, you can go watch our Denver Broncos previews and reactions and everything. We had done told you guys that it was not going to work, and we're like adamant. And we had Broncos fans like just berating us all off season. And I just want to tell you, like, I told you, and
we told you.
All of us. Mikey, I think, was the most adamant. I think Mikey was the most harsh.
Yeah, you got a couple good wide receivers, and Russell Wilson, the world's solved. So,
yeah, but I don't. I kind of see where you're going. So you've got the Jets, you got the Raiders.
Yep, and
Packers.
then I think the other team that I think is not like for sure. I would say this is probably more on like the 5 and 10% potentially, is picking up where Tom Brady left off and proving once and for all that he's the better quarterback than Tom Brady. Which I'm sure no one's going to debate at all. But no, that's it. I mean, they have a need for it. I think a few other quarterbacks are likely to land there. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the most likely, but they have a need. They have wide receivers that fits Aaron Rodgers' throwing style, and I wouldn't say they're that far off. They need a lot of work on the defense, but I think that's another team in there that's good. That's not in a full rebuild right now. That could potentially take in Aaron Rodgers and do some cat magic.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, speaking of cap, they're negative 55 or 56 million in the cap right now, and that's after the increase. So that would take some magic beanstalk stuff right there. I'm not sure how they would do that.
Oh, we've seen it too, though. But I do think that the Jets and the Raiders are right now the most likely. I'm not throwing the Colts in there just because I think that
they're going for Derek Carr.
Oh my gosh. But I'm not putting any veteran quarterbacks there until a rookie is there, and then we'll see who comes in and wants to be kind of like the bridge. So we'll see. But where are you leaning? What teams are most likely for Aaron Rodgers?
I think the Raiders are out. I don't. Like, apart from the Devontae Adams, right? Like, I think that's like the only draw. Like, I don't think you have any desire to go and play for Josh McDaniels. I don't know why he still has a job. Like, if it was to go after Tom Brady and he retired, I mean, you can't honestly think that he's a good head coach. That's a different thing. I really do think it's the Packers. Like, I think he'll just be back in the Packers. I think we're going to go through all this. We're going to do all of our talking.
He'll restructure his deal again.
He'll walk into training camp with jean shorts in his bag and go play football for the Packers again.
If that's the case, okay, so if that's the case, do they keep Jordan Love until Aaron Rodgers just gives up, or like what does Jordan Love? Does he get traded?
So I think that's like, if no one wants him, I don't think the Packers are like, we're keeping him no matter what. I think if the Jets want to play ball and they have the cap, they have the team that Rodgers would likely want to play for, and like the want to get him, then I think that they let him go. I think if the Jets come asking and giving him a couple first-round picks, I think the Packers have had not enough, but I think they've kind of hit that ceiling. Like they've 2 years ago when he won the MVP, or 3 years ago now, I guess, that first one, and they lost like the NFC Championship game. And then you had last year's when they lost to the Niners, and then they had this year they don't even make the playoffs. Like I think they've seen like that's the cap right now. Like I don't know if they think that they can win a Super Bowl with him as it's constructed, which is like crazy to think of because Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. But I think that's something they might be thinking about. Plus, getting a couple first-round picks, and then letting your quarterback Jordan Love to go out there and see if he's, a guy. And they for like everything that they're saying, they say that he's good. He might be ready and everything like that. I don't know. I struggle because I love Aaron Rodgers, right? Like I think he's like talent-wise probably the best quarterback ever.
All right, like we talked about, we're going to be moving on to another quarterback here. We're going to get into the Carr, Derek Carr. So with Derek Carr, we've got some updates on this story because obviously they basically said, F you, we're going with Jarrett Stidham at the end of the season there. And
Stud him.
And
What a stud.
benched him for not a great year. So the Raiders are moving on. They're looking to trade him basically the same season that they extended him. So just great business model over there in Las Vegas right now. But, that brings us to the conversation, though. Where is Derek Carr going to go? How is he going to get there? Is he going to get traded or is he going to get cut and then sign somewhere?
So the big thing is the contract, right?
Yeah, the contract's big.
And kind of what the Raiders did to themselves here. Kind of similar to like the Baker Mayfield situation last year from my Browns where they went and got Deshaun Watson before Baker Mayfield was off the roster. So kind of like nixed kind of any like value he had because I mean you're pretty much going out and saying, well, this is my quarterback, so why would we give up assets for a guy that we know you can't keep? You're going to get rid of him somehow. And I think that's the same thing with the Raiders. And then now you're adding on the fact that it's like a big contract that was just signed. So you're kind of hoping that, cutting them and then you can make a new deal with him. I think that's probably the most likely avenue. I don't see a way he goes back to Las Vegas.
So
barring like a change of coach, but
so this is why I think I'm going to agree with you that why I think he's going to get cut is his dead cap numbers for the next 3 years total combined, if he was to get cut tomorrow or however, is $5.6 million.
Yeah.
So he's gone.
He's getting cut.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
I just looked it up on Spot Track, but if he gets traded, a team is going to be paying $33 million this year, 41 and 41 those 3 years after that. When he turns 34, he'll be getting paid $41 million. So it does look like they kind of gave him a contract to say, you got this team this year. If we are liking where things are going, we'll retain you. If not, then you got a full no trade clause, so we can't trade you somewhere you don't want to be. But we also have the power to just cut you, essentially.
Yeah.
And so, unless I'm misreading this entirely, but that's how I'm looking at this. So the only teams that I think will make a trade is if they're fine with paying him and they don't want to lose out on him going elsewhere. But in reality, they're not going to be able to agree on a trade if he doesn't want to go there anyways. And so, yeah, it looks like he's going to get cut. I don't think he's going to get traded. And then at that point, I think he is going to be waiting on Aaron Rodgers news because I feel like he's going to go to a team that might also need Aaron Rodgers. So I think Aaron Rodgers might be one of the first dominoes to fall, whether they decide on a new term or whatnot. But also, I think there's some sort of deadline for Derek Carr coming up here in like a week.
Yeah, we've established that he's probably getting cut, right?
Yeah.
I think a couple places, disclaimer, the Jets will pop up in every quarterback conversation. Because believe it or not, they are probably the most ready team that needs a quarterback now. Right? So they're going to be in every one of these. Why are you doing this to me? Just stay. Um, I think like I saw a report on it, but I've been thinking for a while. I just don't know how they're gonna make it work. But the Saints,
That's
I
another
think
team,
this,
yeah.
yeah, I think the Saints are. They would be my number. Mm, they're my like number like three. Like the Jets, the Saints, and the Commanders. I think are like the three teams I would go for him. And like a serious note, um, at the end of the day, we just know that the Colts are gonna trade for him anyways
Yeah.
for their first round pick
No,
and take on the contract.
dude, I got so like I'll own this word triggered when someone posted a. It was like the Colts are gonna trade their first round pick for Derek Carr. They're gonna also give away Grover Stewart in that trade and a first round pick. And just like I was like, you don't understand anything. But the thing with the New Orleans Saints is they're in the same position as the Buccaneers cap wise.
Yeah.
They're negative 57, given everything all included. So they're not going to be easy to get there, but obviously they do some magic. So we'll see. But
And that is like the team for cap magic because they always seem to be like, what were they like a couple of years ago? 128
yeah.
over the cap, and then all of a sudden they magically were able to sign players.
Another team that's interesting I just found is the Commanders. I think they're moving on from Carson Wentz. You almost have to. He doesn't have any dead cap, so I think he's just gone. And then, yeah, I think that's another team here. I'm just seeing if there's anyone else. The Titans, if they really want to move on and don't believe in Malik Willis. The Niners, if they don't have a healthy quarterback next year. The Giants, if for some reason they don't re-sign Daniel Jones. Like I said, Indy, Houston, if they really see him as a bridge and he wants to be a bridge, which I don't think he wants to. Carolina. I think they'll stick with Sam Darnold and then get a quarterback.
Yeah, I think Frank Reich is tired of having
and then
veteran quarterbacks forced on him.
Yeah. So so let's kind of realistically say it's going to be the Jets, it's going to be the Commanders, and then it's going to be one of the Titans, the Saints, and Buccaneers, just depending on how things fall.
Yeah.
And then our next quarterback, if you want to move on.
Yeah.
We'll save the spicy one for last. How about that? Let's go to Jimmy G, 49ers quarterback. Coming off an injury. Just kind of seems like if you're a Niners quarterback, you're injured right now. I mean, that's just how it is. So they're moving on from Jimmy G. I think the writing's been on the wall. They got Trey Lance and Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's going to take a while to fully heal from his what do you call it?
UCL.
Yeah, UCL. I think it's the baseball injury. And then they also have Trey Lance coming back eventually at some point, sometime. So they will need to find a quarterback, I think. But I don't think they're going to bring Jimmy G back, and I don't think he wants to be back. Because they just don't believe in him. You know, why would you keep returning?
Money. He's chilling.
It's fair.
I see this one's difficult. Like I can't really pick because he doesn't get to pick. He gets to sit there and wait and see where everyone else goes and then go get the best deal after the big three or big two are gone.
Yeah.
And then even then, like I don't even know if he's like a commodity that people are gonna go after to try to like sign. Like, you really wanted to go out and sign Jimmy Garoppolo, and you think that's gonna put you over? Like, I think he's gotta hit that like point. Like, so I think he's just gonna take the best contract available to him. I do think if like the Niners want to retain him in some way, like he'd be okay with that because it gives him the best opportunity to win.
Yeah, so
I don't see it happening at all, but
he's an unrestricted free agent, so he's just fresh out of his deal. So you were saying that he might go to the Buccaneers. Is that what I heard?
I can see it, I guess. But
What was
really,
the team
like,
that
I
you
have
said
no
before?
idea. What?
What is the team that you said before?
The 49ers. Like,
Oh,
if they
yeah,
wanted
yeah.
him back, like, he could go there. But, I mean,
See,
I
the thing
honestly
with where Jimmy G is at this point in his career is he's not your okay. This guy is going to be our future. He's 31. He'll be 32 by the end of next season, and he really hasn't shown much more than just being a facilitator of the ball, which is not bad. But he hasn't been someone that's going to take over the franchise, you know. So that's where it'll be just interesting. I think we got 2 head coaching vacancies to figure out with the Cardinals and the Colts. I think both of those teams have the opportunity to take a Jimmy G, give him some playing time this year, but not expecting him to start the whole year because Kyler Murray will be back, and then the Colts, whoever they draft in the first round, will have a quarterback, whoever they draft, start by the end of the year.
Yeah. I'm intrigued to see what happens. I think with that kind of quarterback, I have literally no clue. And that's kind of like the ones because like he's not gonna be able to just like choose where he goes. He's gonna wait until after the draft and teams that have a quarterback get their quarterback after the other guys go and sign. So he's one of the harder ones. I kind of think he's kind of down to the point where he's not gonna be able to just do what he wants, unfortunately for him.
That's true. All right, so I think the spicier to quarterback to talk about that's going to ruffle, I think, most of Maryland around is going to be Lamar Jackson. Is he gone or is he not gone?
He gone.
He gone. Lamar
Somebody
Jackson.
come get him.
So the thing is with his situation, right, is it all depends on if he won't take the franchise tag, essentially, right? Because he can basically say, okay, yeah, you can franchise tag me, but I'm not going in to play. Like, I'm not showing up, and you can find me. So if he doesn't agree to a new contract, that's going to happen. He's going to get franchise tagged. Like, he's not just going to be like, okay, yeah, you can find a new team. And then that's where things are going to get interesting. But not to, be the dramatic one, but I think he gets re-signed to a contract. I think he's going to get a good deal. He's going to extend his contract to, I think he's going to go more to 4 years, fully guaranteed on everything. But it is interesting, though, because Tyler Huntley just made the Pro Bowl, so maybe the Ravens just say, let's go with Tyler Huntley. So.
Why would you not sign the quarterback that made the Pro Bowl for your team when the other guy's sitting there complaining, not even showing up to games because he's hurt? No, seriously, get him out of here, please. Like, get him gone. I am tired of playing that dude 2 times a year, and if the Ravens aren't willing to pay him because they don't have the faith or believe in him, fine. Please let him go somewhere else.
See, like, the thing is people don't just let quarterbacks walk. Like, even the Texans, they didn't let Deshaun Watson walk. They got first-round picks, second-round picks for him. So that's just – he's not going to just walk away. I think, if anything, he gets franchise tagged and trade at, like, the least.
Right.
But basically, you got the options of he's going to extend, he's going to get franchise tagged and played on it, he's going to get franchise tag and not play on it, or he's going to get franchise tag and traded. And those are the only 4 options.
Speaking of the franchise tag, everyone laughed about the Deshaun Watson contract, calling it ridiculous. In like 2 years, that's going to be a top 10 contract and not a top 5 contract. Oh, and by the way, they're going to restructure the contract this year for the Browns, Watson, but they're going to do it after they have to franchise tag with Lamar Jackson, so it costs the Ravens like $15 million, which I find comical.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, and I think that's a good point to bring up is that the thing is the Baltimore Ravens aren't stupid. Like, they're a pretty well-run organization. They're not going to just let Lamar Jackson leave. They're not going to.
No,
I don't think they're going to put a franchise tag if he's going to just sit there. I think it's really he's going to extend or he's going to get tagged and traded, and that's just what's going to happen. So, there's not a lot of teams that can trade for him though.
We say that, right, like on paper, like right now, but then when that quarterback comes up, like you can move whatever you need to make it happen.
Yeah.
Right, like teams like the Browns had no way that they could sign a Deshaun Watson last year and weren't even in the conversation. Then all of a sudden they were, and then they did. Right, like stuff happens like that.
Like I understand if, say, like the Falcons, the Commanders,
right,
the Saints, the Buccaneers, but like a lot of those teams, they're not drafting super high, so that kind of takes a little bit of the teeth out of the bike there. But they're gonna have to give up like 3 to 4 first round picks essentially to get.
No, I don't think because of the situation that the Ravens did. Like, if you know he's not gonna play there, you just trying to get something from.
But you're bargaining against other teams. You're not bargaining against the Ravens. And so like that's what happened with Deshaun Watson. Is the reason why everything went up. Is it wasn't because the Texans didn't need him and they just whatever. It was because the Falcons got him, and then the Browns were like, oh no, we'll do this and that. So that's where it's going to be like it's going to cost a lot because like you said, the Patriots might go for him, and then basically you got to put together a package of at least 3 first round picks, some players, and a few other things just to make ends meet.
Yeah, and in the last 2 years, like the second half of the season, Lamar Jackson's been hurt and hasn't been able to play. And that's like the big thing with like running quarterbacks, and the big stigma he's had his entire career is like, well, how long can you do it, until his legs give out or he gets hurt and he can't play anymore. And that's happening. Like the last 2 years it's happened. So you get the Baltimore Ravens who have invested everything into him, but not fully committed to him. And you can tell that with the way that they run their offense still. It's kind of just...
So the other interesting thing too,
so I don't know what they're doing.
Didn't they do something where they got rid of Roman, right? Or who's the guy?
Yeah, sad day. Yeah, Greg Roman is gone.
Yeah. So I think
he
that
will be missed.
That part is very interesting to watch too, because I think that might be part of the negotiation is allow Lamar Jackson to get the offensive coordinator he wants potentially.
Yeah.
Or, leave it open where if we don't have Lamar Jackson, we got to go get X or Y or, whatever. So I think that part's going to be very interesting to see what the strategy behind that is. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel.
But you're sitting in Las Vegas right now, and you have $10 in your hand, and you're going to make a bet on which team Lamar Jackson's going to land on. What team is it going to be?
The Patriots.
Next year, he's going to be on the Patriots.
Bill Belichick has if we're going like away, like I think he'll end up like a Raven is more likely, right?
Okay, but if he's not a Raven,
right?
You think the Patriots?
Bill Belichick has an infatuation with him, always. I don't think he's sold on any of their quarterbacks that they have. I don't think he cares. Everyone is, replaceable to him. And I can see it happening. I don't think it's like the most likely situation or money or trading wise, but I think Bill Belichick would want him the most. I guess if they do the signing, the franchise and trade, and not just he's open free agency, the Falcons.
Yeah. And another person I think might enter into that conversation is the Texans, because they do have draft capital again. They don't have to give up their second overall pick for Lamar Jackson, and I don't think they would. I don't think they have to.
Just give them their divisional rivals picks.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You got rid of your Deshaun Watson.
You get number 12.
You just gave those picks to the team that took Watson from you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like this. Next.
So
take Bryce Young.
Yeah. We'll see, but like that's another interesting one. But like that's where like you're saying like if the Ravens do say, "Hey, Lamar, go find a team," it'll be funny how quick people turn on the quarterbacks they have right now, and the Seahawks turn on Geno right away. The Texans, they'll go on there.
The Seahawks would be sick.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams are gonna be like, "Oh, wait, hold on, he's available. Let's let's burn some bridges real quick."
Quite frankly, I could give two rats ass less where he is. Just don't be a Raven next year, please.
He'll go to Pittsburgh.
The Browns do their best to try to get better, and then the Ravens are doing great, and then the Bengals get Joe Burrow and they do great. And
just imagine this.
Mike Tomlin.
Just imagine this. Next year, Lamar Jackson rolling around, thrown to Pat Freiermuth, to Deontay Johnson, George Pickens.
Doesn't do anything to me.
With that defense,
still in the division. Still in the division.
That's what I'm saying.
The Ravens have a good defense now. My thing is, like, I think Lamar's a good quarterback. I don't think Lamar can win you a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's another video. I think we can get into.
It doesn't scare me.
Oh yeah. Well,
I just don't want him in the division.
Yeah. Well, if you made it this far, shows that you appreciate this kind of content. So why not support it? Drop a like. Throw a little comment. Throw something spicy in there, and then obviously subscribe.
Where's Lamar going?
Exactly. Throw something spicy in there, and then subscribe. It helps us out a bunch. We're going to be putting more content out there, so look for that. But other than that,
all right.
Deuces.
Peace out.